Hi, everybody. Welcome. I am Michelle Solis with This Must Be Ink in Seekonk, Massachusetts. Welcome to my Stamp and Sip live workshop where the weekend starts early. So I don't always stamp on a Friday night, but when I do, it's with all of you and it starts here at my Stamp and Sip workshop. So let's grab our drinks, whatever we brought tonight, take a sip, and we will get started. Okay, I am drinking my Oliver wine again tonight. I remembered what it was called tonight. It's called Cosmo Berry. It's got some cranberry in it. It's very good. Okay, so I'm going to go down here to this camera. Where am I? There we go. All right, we're going to go down here. There we go. All right, we're going to come in here and take a look at this Sunflower 3D embossing folder. So this is new from Stampin' Up! And it is available. And I forgot to look up how much it was. I want to say it's $12, but I'll have to double check on the price. Anyways, it's a 3D embossing folder. So it will go through your embossing machine with just the platform and the cover plate. Hi, Sharon. And it's going to create this amazing three-dimensional image. So this is the debossed side of the image that I have created on this card. And I've added some color to that. And I'm going to show you how I did that. And then this one, I did the same thing. This is the embossed side. I added color to this as well, but this is actually on a yellow piece of cardstock, and this was on the white, you can see. And then this one, I just created this little notepad with that piece of paper that I embossed. Okay, so let me just show you, first of all, the image itself. I don't even know where to put all this stuff that I've got. I need another table. Okay, so let's talk about the folder. Sorry. So the folder is 8.5 by 6, I believe. Yes. So I have been using 6 by 6 pieces of paper, but you can do an entire card. So you could do an entire half a sheet of paper. So this is 5.5 by 8.5. And I have embossed it, I think, up to like 8. Yeah, up to 8 inches. So this is 5.5 by 8. And this is the full image. I don't know if you can see it completely, but it's amazing. And it makes you just want to touch it because it pops out so much from the paper. It's got so much detail. Hi, Mary. So much detail to it. It's just beautiful and just so much texture. So this is the embossed side. This is the side that is raised up off of the paper. And then you get such a great image on the other side as well. This is the debossed side where the images are pressed into the paper. And I'm going to show you some cards with using both sides. Okay, so that's the image itself and the folder itself. Sorry, trying to find places to put everything. Okay, so here is that same piece that I did, that one that I just did in white. I did here, and I added some color. So there's a few ways. I mean, actually, there's a bunch of ways that you can add color to this. But this one, this turquoise, I used a blending brush. So just a small blending brush to get some color there. This one here, I used Stampin' Blend markers. Right? Yes, Stampin' Blend markers. And then these two, I watercolored. So I'm going to show you a little bit of all of that. All right, so here is my blending brush, and I've got some Coastal Cabana, and I'm just going to pick up some color here. Let's do this one up here. I'm just going to pick up some color and then just hit this very, very lightly because I just want to do the tops of those raised areas. So I just want to very lightly go. But with the 3D folders, it's a lot easier because the image is so raised that it really works, and it helps you not get color on the background where you don't really want it. But you just want to go very lightly, just hit the edges of those images, and you can see it's already picking up color. So we could do a whole piece here just in the turquoise and white, which would be so pretty. I love turquoise, and I think sunflowers and turquoise are amazing. Okay, so hopefully you can see that we've got some color on those petals. Isn't it pretty, Cynthia? I love this. I'm going to make some of these cards for the shop at the center. Just so pretty. All right, so that's with the blending brush. Now let's take our Stampin' Blend marker. So this is a Stampin' Blend marker in light Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to use the brush end of this. And we're going to come down here to this image in the corner. And really what you're going to do is just follow the ridges of the flower. You just want the color to sit on top of that area that's pressed up. But you can just follow all the petals. I'll just do a few here. And then the way that I got the other colors in there, I used the dark Daffodil Delight, again, the brushed end, and I just kind of made some, just flicking it real easy where though there are ridges in there. And then you're going to go back with the light and you're going to just pull that dark color through and it's going to blend. And eventually it's going to smooth out and it's going to just kind of blend the dark into the light as it dries. And then in the middle, we used some light pecan pie. Actually, full disclosure, I think I used light crumb cake, and now I can't find my light crumb cake. Oh, wait. What's this? Oh, no, that's dark crumb cake. That's not going to work. All right. Well, anyway, we're going to use some light pecan pie. And we just did the inside. Again, just kind of touching it. It's all got these little raised bumps here. Just kind of touching it with my marker. Just to grab the color from the marker. And then when I got to the inside, after I did the full thing, then I accented it with some darker marker, which I used, I think, bronze. Can't get the lid off. There we go. And I just went through and I got those little areas that are poking up that kind of go around in a circle. Like that. But you can kind of detail it as much as you want. You can add little like dots in there. There are raised areas in there. So you can just hit it with your, just the edge very gently of your marker, and it's going to pick up all those little dots. Okay, so that's how I did it with the marker. And then with the water painter, what I did was took Daffodil Delight. Let me get some, actually what I used is my, is a block, so I didn't make such a mess. So I just used my block and got a little bit of ink on my block. And then I squeezed water from the water painter. It says push. You just squeeze and you'll get some drops of water on your block here. And you can mix that with water. And so the more you mix it, the lighter color you're going to get. Let's go on this big one here. And you're just going to paint that through on your petals. I think watercoloring this is my favorite. So you'll just add color to your petals. And then you can also, I mean, there's two schools of watercoloring. You can add the color with just blending it with the water and adding it to your paper. Or you can pre-wet your petal, get them wet, and then bring some color in to them. And if you want them really light, that's the way to go. You're just barely getting color in there, which I think is really pretty too. And then to make it darker, you'll pick up more of this pigment here, and then you can add some darker shades in the little crevices there and maybe around the edge of the petal. It's your project. You can make it whatever color you want, and you can emphasize different parts of the petal as you go along. But I really love watercoloring, and I think this image is just perfect for that. And then for the middle, I used, what did I use? I think I crumb caked it. Hang on, I lost, oh, here's my crumb cake. I thought I lost my crumb cake. Okay, so we're going to, let me get rid of this water. So I don't dump it on my card. And we're going to pick up some crumb cake. And just do the same thing. Get some water, get some crumb cake. Just start out really light in the middle, because you can build the color up, but you can't take color away. So you just want to build up your color with, start with the lightest first. And then you can add more color as you go. Okay, so then to get some darker colors, you just add a little bit more ink. And you'll get some darker, a little bit darker shades there. But you just play with it. It's just fun, and it just is fun to be artsy with it. And then, of course, you could do the leaves in the green or leave them white. But either way, any way you color this image is going to be really pretty, because it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous thing. Okay, so that's the coloring lesson. Now this one, I didn't color these. I'm going to show you this in a minute, but I did color the background. So that's another thing that you can do. You can take this image here. Well, let's take this one that's almost done. And you can add some color to the background. So let's say we want to do some azure afternoon in the background. Then you just add your color in between your images carefully so you don't run up on the side of them. But you can just go around your images and then create a colorful background for them. And to do this really detailed, I would have to have my nose much closer to the paper. But you get the idea. So you just fill then in with your color, and you would get a full color background like we did here. And this one, I had already put some colors in here with some blending brushes. So you can see I've got some green going on and some turquoise going on because it overran. So if you've got some, if you've been a messy coloring person, you can cover that up with putting some ink into the background here. Okay, so that's that one. All right, so let me show you how to add color like this and this. So this is the embossed side and this is the debossed side of the folder. And what we're going to do is take a piece of basic white and we're going to take some blending, sponge daubers, and we're going to add some color to our embossing folder. So if you want the color to be on the embossed side, which is the raised up side, then you want to put the color on this side of the folder where this line is, and can't see it. The line and the Stampin' Up! Logo are. That's going to be the side where the images pop up. So to do that, you'll open up your folder and then you'll take your colors. I have to remember which sponge dauber I used for which color. This is yellow. Okay. So I'm using crushed curry. I'm going to pick up some crushed curry and then I'm going to just put it into my folder so I can see where my leaves are. And I'm just going to add color to those leaves in the folder. This was so much fun to play with. I've been playing with it since I got it and just having a lot of fun with it. All right, let's do one more. We'll do this one here. And I think sunflowers can really be any color, but they really pop in this crushed curry. Really just a perfect color for sunflowers. Okay, now which one did I use? Brown. This is brown. Okay. So we're going to get some, we use pecan pie for the center of the flowers. And you just keep going until you get the shade that you think is good. If you want it light or you want it a little bit darker, just keep building up your color. And it's not going to be perfect, and I'm rushing too, but it's not going to be perfect. It may blend a little bit into your petals, which is fine. It's art. It's not perfect. All right, I think this was the green. So I used, did I lose it? Yep, I lost it. I used, I think I used garden green. No, I used granny apple green for the leaves, but this time I'm going to use some shaded spruce. And normally I would do the full image so that I have a full piece of paper and I can cut it down and use it on multiple cards because it's going to be 5.5 or 6 inches by like 8 inches. All right, so let's just get these little leaves over here. All right, that will be good. Now we're going to put our paper in and we're going to close it up. And we're going to move this and put it through our embossing machine. And when we take it out, we're going to get this amazing image, which is just, it's so delicate and so pretty. Just got the color right on the little crevices because the embossing folder pushes that color right into the little crevices. Super pretty, and it's like a pastel. Very pretty. So you can do the same thing on the other side. Let's do that because I want you to see the difference. I don't know where to put anything. I want you to see the difference of the embossed and the debossed side. So I'm going to just spritz this and wipe it down. Normally I would take it to the sink and just wash it off. And just wash it with some water and then dry it. Okay. So then to do the debossed side, you're just going to do the same thing, but you're going to do it on the other side. So we'll do some crushed curry again. Should we do crushed curry? Yeah, let's do crushed curry again. We'll just do the same thing. Okay, that was not yellow. That's yellow. Okay. So we'll do this big flower so you can see the difference. Okay, and then we'll get some brown. Actually, let's do orange in the middle this time. I think this was orange, right? Yeah. This is, what is this? Pumpkin pie. And then we'll do some green. For some leaves, just real quick, so you can see the difference there. Okay. So then we'll do the same thing. Just put your paper in. And get your machine. And then just feed that through. Hi, Lorraine. I just looked up again and saw your name. All right, and then we're going to pull that out, and you can see this is now the deboss side, where the folder has now pushed the color in to the image. So let's find the other one. It picks up the color differently in different parts of the image. Don't know if you can see the difference, but it's very cool. Both sides are really cool, and both sides make you just want to touch it. They're very, very pretty. But you can see here it's popped out with the color in those little dot areas, and then here those little dots are pushed inward with all the color. It's very cool. All right, so that's with white and adding some colors to white. And that's how we made all of these, the card and the what will be a card and the little notebook. And this was on yellow. I did exactly that same thing, but I put in a piece of Daffodil Delight and let the color come out on the flowers on Daffodil Delight. Okay, so now let's talk about two-tone cardstock. So it's really fun with two-tone cardstock. This was a piece of two-tone cardstock in Blueberry Bushel, because I think blue and yellow are just amazing together. Hi, Debbie. So I did some Blueberry Bushel two-tone cardstock and some Daffodil Delight. I decided to add some Blueberry Bushel to that image instead of leaving it just the yellow. I think I messed it up. I think I liked it better the other way, but it's still pretty. Okay, so that's two-tone cardstock that I have sanded, and then I can show you that. So here's one with the pecan pie. I lost my sander. Okay, so here's some pecan pie. So what you will do is you'll put your two-tone cardstock in your embossing folder and just run it through. This is a 6x6 piece of paper. Then you'll take a little piece of sandpaper. This is a little sander that I purchased. It's called a Sanding Mouse Mini. Comes with a bunch of different sandpaper, some really big rough grit, and then some really fine grit. So you want kind of a medium grit, and you'll just put that onto your sander, and then you're just going to very lightly, I mean lightly, you do not have to press hard at all, just rub it over your image. And because the two-tone cardstock has a white core, it's going to remove some of the color just on the surface, and it's going to have that white show through. And then if you want to really concentrate on some place where, oh, didn't get much there, let me get some in here, you can do that. But in general, just rub this over and you get that distressed look on your piece of paper, which I love. Isn't that pretty? So it just looks distressed. And then I actually fussy cut a flower out of here and to use on my card. But it's beautiful just the way it is. I would just put a sentiment on it and call it a day. So pretty. Okay, so also with the two-tone, actually this was not two-tone cardstock, this was just regular cardstock. What I did to add some color or give it this distressed look is just added some Whisper White to it. And I don't think I made myself another piece to show you. Let's just grab a piece of cardstock. 1 second. Here we've got some green. We can do shaded spruce. I like this with a dark color. Hang on, we're going to have to clean this for a second. I forgot to clean it last time I used it, which is so typical of me. And then I'm like, oops. I get all excited. And then I'm like, oh, I can't do it because I have to clean it. All right. And this is just a chamois cloth that I have in my office. All right, so we're going to do this with some shaded spruce. Just run that through. The whole desk shakes. Okay, so now you've got this beautiful image in the shaded spruce. This will be so pretty for fall. Okay, so what did I do with the Whisper White? Okay, here we go. So if you've got Whisper White ink, what you're going to do is just open the pad and you're just going to go for it. You're going to put the pad down, use the upper edge, and just drag it across your image. It really intimidated me the first time that I did this, but it's just as easy as that. Just drag it across and then just do it again. And you want to try to do a full sweep from top to bottom so you don't get too many lines in here. Then just go back and add some color where you want more color. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So pretty. So Whisper White takes a little bit of time to dry, so I would leave this to dry, because if I touch this, it'll come off on my fingers. So you want to leave this to dry for a little bit, but that is such an amazing look. And I think once you let this dry, you could put another color on top. We're going to try it. We're going to set that aside. Oh, let's try it on here. Okay, let's see. What have I got? I've got some yellow, maybe some orange. Let's see what happens if we do a second color. Oh, we just kind of get rid of the white. I was thinking that it would pick it up differently, but it doesn't really. It just kind of covers up the white. But if you wanted to do two-tone, like a bright color with a dark color, that would be the way to do it. Because if you did a dark color on top of just the shaded spruce, you really wouldn't see it. But on top of the white on here, then you get that orange. That's pretty. All right, we're saving that one. We'll make a card out of that. Okay. What else have I got here to show you? All right, let's talk about vellum. So I love this image on vellum. This card, what I did was I took a piece of vellum and ran it through with the folder, and I added color to the folder like I did with the white. So, but this time I did it with vellum. So it just picked up really light shades of color on the back. And then I went through and I added a little bit more where I wanted it to be a little darker. Once it dried, I then put some, here it is, here's the vellum. Once it dried, I put some adhesive sheet on the back so that the entire thing would attach to the card base. So it's not flapping around at all here. This whole thing has adhesive sheet on it. Okay. I was going to show you that, but it's this exact same procedure that you will do with the white. Now my vellum did split a little bit. There's a couple of cracks here, but I feel like once you put the color and once you put the adhesive sheet, it adheres it down to the cardstock and you can't see any of the cracking. So it comes out really, really pretty. Okay, so that's it on vellum. Now let's take a look at some cardstock. So here is the image. Hard to see on the cardstock, but hopefully you can see it. If I move it a little bit, you can see the texture here. And I've done this on a piece of floral paper. So what happens is you've got your pattern, but then you also have like a subliminal pattern in the background and a texture in the background. It's really pretty. Here it is on just some Petunia Pop cardstock. This is the new Halloween cardstock that'll be coming out. And then this is the Petunia Pop. So this has just got a real subtle pattern with that texture to it. Here's another piece from the Halloween paper. I love this. So this is white with a little bit of pumpkin pie running through it, just a little bit of color there. And you can see the texture of the sunflowers. That one is super pretty as well. Then I tried it on a piece. Oh, I'm not going to remember the name of this paper. But it's got some foil. This went with that set that had the vanilla beans. And I can't remember what it was. But this has got a little bit of foil and shine to it. So this is basically writing on this paper, some typing, and then some foil, and then you can see the texture of the flowers. Okay, so that, don't forget, you can also emboss designer series paper. So you get some really interesting, oh wait, I forgot to show the other side. So on this floral one, I thought, oh, what's on the other side? And I flipped it over. On the other side is this green pattern. And then I thought that was really cool as well. So I did my Whisper White ink on top of that. And I think I like it better than this side. I don't know. I might have to cut it in half and use both sides. Very, very pretty. All right. And then, yes, you can also do foil. So here's some foil. This is an old foil that's almost got like a purpley sheen to it. And then this is the silver. Look how beautiful that is on foil. This is going to be a beautiful anniversary card or a super special birthday card. Just gorgeous on the foil. Okay, and one last thing I want to show you. This technique I just learned is called wood burning technique. So that's exactly what it looks like. And I think it's absolutely amazing. Whoever came up with this is amazing because it is just spectacular. So this has got a bunch of different colors. We started off with very vanilla for the background because I think it's just better than white. It's got a little bit more subtlety to it. And I'm going to show you how to do this. All right, so we're going to put that aside. Here is our very vanilla piece that I have already embossed. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to build up the color here. So we're going to start out with crumb cake. And we're going to do that same technique that you saw with the Whisper White. Just going to use the edge of your ink pad, and you're going to just go across your image. Add one layer of color. Already pretty. Then I'm going to add some red. What did I use last night? One moment. What did I use? I think I did some Cajun Craze. Let's do some Cajun Craze. One of these has more orange. I think it's this one. It's got like a more orangey background. I can't really tell. We'll find out. All right, we're going to do Cajun Craze. And we're going to just build up that color. And then for our last layer, we're doing early espresso, which sounds so scary, doesn't it? But we're doing it. So we're going to add that dark early espresso. I think I want it to go even darker, so we're going to just go one more time this way. I might have to re-ink my ink pads. It's not coming out as dark as it did last night. Okay. So you want to just build up that brown background. And then we're going to add some color. So we're going to find our sponge daubers again. And we're going to bring in the yellow. This is the crushed curry. And we're going to just bring that yellow into our image. Look at that, already gorgeous. Just such a pretty technique. I'm going to have to try this with like every color, because I could see doing a turquoise background. Oof. So we get some yellow. This is crushed curry again, I think I told you, which I think is the perfect color for sunflowers. And just get that into all those little leaves right on top of that brown. My husband's trying to tell me dinner's ready. Well, I'm not ready. I'm still coloring. Okay, we'll get some more yellow in here. And then our last one, well, almost our last one. This is just right here in the corner. And this little guy. Okay, I think we've got the yellow accomplished. And then I did orange for the center of the flowers. And that was this pumpkin pie. Because I really felt like you had enough brown. You did not need more brown. That would just kind of blend that all together. Ooh, that was really bright. Well, this kind of got like a folk art look to it, which I really like too. These are tough to get the color right where you want it to be, because they are kind of like a semicircle. There we go. And now wait until you see what happens when you add the green. This is why I decided that Shaded Spruce was my favorite, because it really gives that turquoise feeling to it. And really just makes it come alive, I think. And when I set this up to emboss it, I really was looking at the placement of the leaves because I wanted to get a lot of this turquoise in it. So depending on the size piece you're doing in your embossing folder, you can kind of move it around and get the flowers that you like the best, or get however many leaves in there you want. So what do you think about that? Isn't that pretty? You really have to see it in person. I mean, it's fabulous. So everybody that wants to see this in person, you just comment in the comments, share, and I will be happy to make you a card and send it to you, because you have to see this in person. It's so fabulous. Okay, so we're going to cut this down to, what did I cut it down to? I think I cut it down to, well, let me measure the mat to be sure. So the mat is 4 1/8. So we want this to be 4. Oh, it's so hard to cut it. 4 by 5 1/4. Let's go this way. Oh, it's so hard to cut it. There you go. Oh, that shouldn't be surprising though, because I have a hard time cutting up my DSP when I like it. Okay, so we're going to just mat that to the card base, or to the mat, and then the card base. Maybe if we can get the glue to work. No, we can't get the glue to work. We might not be able to make a card. Oh, here we go. So on these cards with a really 3D background, you really want to use liquid glue, because the tape runner sometimes has a tough time getting into the little crevices. To get a good, good good seal, good adhesive on the back, you really do want to use like a liquid glue to get into the nooks and crannies. Okay. There we go. And then we're going to put that on I am happy to send you a sunflower card, Sharon. Everybody needs a sunflower card in their life. Okay, wait, I think it must go this way. Yeah, I like it this way. Okay. That's just fabulous. It really does look like wood burning. It's amazing. Okay, so then we just need a little sentiment. Did I bring any paper for a sentiment? Maybe not. One moment. All right, we'll get some vanilla here. And we'll just use our punch because it's quick. This is the Modern Oval Punch. And we'll bring the beautiful motifs in here. Let's see, we'll make this a thank you card, because everybody can use a thank you card. Thank you for everything. And we'll do it in some early espresso. And then what I did was I added some twine as well. I'm just going to pop up that little sentiment. So I will tell you that, oh, I just got ink all over that because I laid it on here and it's still a little wet. All right, well, I'll have to make you a new sentiment. But let me show you the twine. So I have to just tell you, I got a huge box of vintage cards from a girl at work. And I have been going through them, and there are some amazing cards in there. But what I really realized about some of the vintage cards is like the detail that they put into some of them. And there were ribbons on the side. There were, they used to put like vellum inside the card as the sentiment piece, you know, they would, it's almost like heat embossed vellum inside the card as the sentiment page, which I thought was really pretty too. They don't make cards like that anymore. It's expensive. So anyway, while I was going through them, I thought, you know what? I should use some of those old techniques that people don't use anymore. So one of them was this twine on the side of the card. And I just thought it was such a cute, I don't think about doing it. If I can get it lined up here. And I've just gone around twice with my twine. And then I'm going to make a little bow. Maybe. Always easier said than done. There we go. Okay, so then my sentiment will go here once this is dried. But that's what I did here. So I went around twice with my twine. And then here I did like a yellow goldish twine here. So anyway, there we go. So we'll get a sentiment on that last one there. All right. Well, you guys, thanks for hanging in there with me. This was kind of long tonight. I don't usually do an hour. But thanks for hanging in there and watching all of the ideas and all of the techniques. And you will be seeing some of these things that I made tonight on some cards in the coming week. All right, let me get back out of here. Oh, hi, Carol. All right, here we go. Maybe. There we go. All right. So that's it for me tonight, guys. I think my husband's eating without me. I'm going to go catch up. All right. So that's it for me tonight. Everybody have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week. Stay crafty, my friends.